Hello, it's 2025 and welcome to my weekly update video. Let's start off with some news in the technology space. The first thing that dropped into the news late last night was that Nick Clegg is leaving Meta after a good few years being under Mark Zuckerberg. He's deciding to move on before the Trump administration comes back into force. We'll see what that means for Meta. He did a long article about his transition, but ultimately it means he's out of there. Whether their compliance and their kind of standing will change, we shall see. We are expecting to see Nvidia release their 50 series graphics cards this month, and there's been so much rumor about this, about how much power they're going to require and all those kind of things. As a technologist, I'm really interested to see what that really means, because some of the power figures that have been talked about are mental, to be honest. In home consumer units, talking about 1500 watt power supplies being required to run a PC. And you think that if you're doing a high intense graphical processing kind of job and you need a couple of these machines, that's quite a lot on your electricity bill. So when the actual figures get released, I'll look into what that looks like. The 40 series was pretty power hungry, but this sounds pretty mental. I suppose the biggest thing being in 2025 is that Windows 10 is going end of support, right? We all know that. We know that's October. But in a recent survey that was done, it was found that 65% of Windows users were still running Windows 10 based operating systems and had yet to make the move to Windows 11. This is my call to you. You know, we've got 10 months. Make the move now. Don't wait until October to try and do it. Don't let end of support kick in. Don't look at extended support, because all you're doing is putting yourself at risk. Microsoft aren't going to change their stance on this. They're not going to change their stance on the requirements for Windows 11, as much as some of the fake news stories going around have said that they have changed their stance. They haven't. It's still very clear. You still need a TPM chip, still needs those same minimum requirements. So get upgrading. If you can't upgrade, look at something like Azure Virtual Desktop and looking at turning in your devices into thin clients, something that we've been doing for a lot of our clients over the last few months of 2024, and will continue to do so this year. In Planet news, I suppose I dropped a long format video for the first time ever yesterday to go through kind of my winners and losers of 2024. So you can find that. I'll drop the YouTube link in the description of this video. Hopefully for those of you who watched it, you enjoyed it. It was just a nice way to recap an article I'd written at the end of 2024. And then looking forward to what we're doing over the next few months, right? So we've already announced, we did so in the end of last year, we announced we've got 2 events in February and March this year. The first of those being our live hack simulation, which is going to be one of the most unique experiences you can probably be involved in. It's going to be designed for both business leaders and IT leaders to sit through a real attack scenario and work as a team to try and get yourself out of that trouble. It's as close to being in the real scenario as you're possibly going to be able to get without having your systems compromised. And you should learn some really valuable lessons from that and learn about what you could be doing to make yourself safer and protect your business moving forward. And then moving into March, the Education Roundtable is back, something that's so close to my heart and something that I've been a huge advocate for the last 5 years. And this year it's bigger, better and bolder, as I keep saying. We've got so many more panelists, so many more sort of areas that we can cover in that session, because it's longer. We've got 2. We've got a morning session and an afternoon session. We've even put a dedicated Microsoft session into the afternoon. And we've got some really cool panelists for both. This is the first time ever that I've had to turn people away from wanting to be involved in the Education Roundtable. We've had so many sort of technical specialists in education coming out to me and saying, I'd like to, sit on that. And we just physically don't have the space. We'd have more panelists than we would have people attending if I let everyone come. So this is a huge event. I've really handpicked who's been involved, and I really think it would be beneficial if you're in an education role in IT or an educational leader, someone who's responsible for teaching and learning IT, deputy head, something like that, to come along and just use the opportunity to grill these experts and talk to your peers as well. It's networking more than anything. There'll be no salespeople there. It will just be pure technology and pure advice and guidance. So outside of that wraps up the first of the 2025 weekly update videos. Hopefully this year I'll get through all 52 and won't need to get someone to cover one for me, but we shall find out. So until next week, thank you very much and goodbye.